I am here. Let's begin. Let's begin the 26th try. Let's check the leaderboard again. I fell it. I failed yet another rank, by the way, and this time it's really a huge problem because basically, anybody above me now can easily, or has always been very easily, can overtake me if I actually get my 142 down. I will be again rank 20 or worse. Basically, I'm always going to be rank 20, 21 or worse, even if I do my 142. That's the sad part. The sad part is that the leaderboard now looks really silly. Even for this last week, this final week, to do 142, and I will gain nothing. For the 142 at least, that is. If I were to, hey Philip, how are you doing? I'm good, I'm good. But I noticed the leaderboard already since the other day. When I saw that I finally fell from, like, let's say 15, 16, 17, it was still fine. But then as soon as I saw 18, 19, and 20 as my rank fell, basically the style that I've played over practically every time, because I don't work on my paragons, right? Um, unless I go to 143, there's no way to show any increase in rank position, basically, because uh, un- unless none of these are watching their rank in this last week, I will be rank 20 to 22 for sure, if not lower, even if I do this 142. The only way to secure my spot is, I believe, minimum 143 or 144. And even then, they have the Paragon to overtake me at any time. It's just that the worst part about this 142 right now is that I gain nothing. It will seem that I will gain back. Okay, fine. You, one person can say, well, gain to rank 16. Yeah, but the the, the, the four people are watching. Unless they're not watching, then yes, by the end of the season, I will be ranked around 16 if I get my 142. But otherwise, I will be between rank 20 to 25 because there will be somebody that's gonna push again. So my rank is only gonna, like, fall, one to two at a time. And that's on me of Paragons, right? On me on Paragons, but at the same time, this build is really challenging, uh past the point. For the 142, I think I do, not the 143. I think the 142 is there. I just my closest one last time was the 93%. But yeah, it's very close. Like, I'm struggling, like, on the 142 really badly because I am not even 3K. Like, even at 3K, so the other problem is, even at 3K, if I open bad rifts, I still won't be able to do the 142. So it's all about, not like dumping keys, but like testing the testing the limit, because no matter what you open, that's the thing about not fishing, right? Is that, or like half fishing, is that you test the limit at the point where you can do it, right? You That's the wall that you see, like, immediately. That's how I push, right? Is that I already see the wall much sooner. For most that play, to earn the paragons, your wall is actually farther away. The only problem is that people don't want to waste the keys for their side is because they have so many keys to use per paragon. So for example, let's just assume that I know what I'm talking about, where, it takes like, 4-man groups to get, your 5K to 6K, a lot, right? So you don't want to like dump 100 keys for one tier, right? You might as well spend 100 keys to get like, let's say, 20 paragons max at that level, or less than that, right? That 100 keys is better for group play, you know? I mean, sure, if you have more keys than that, then yes, you can dump however many you want. But at the end of the day, when they dump, this dump that we're talking about is basically what I'm doing, where at any point in time when you open a rift and it randomly gives it to you, so to speak, then that is the earliest of the paragon you can do it. But most people's paragon number is not their earliest that they can do it. Mine is like, the way that I play is that most of the time it's around the paragon range where the earliest exists. It's just that you have to play into the fact of the conduit, which is the same thing for everyone. I mean, for most builds, you still end up with that conduit play anyway, right? So the paragon number, like, difference of that first wall is always where I'm at, because I'm always playing that conduit as early as my paragon number shows. Whereas a lot of people who play the paragon number first, they're using their own damage first. They're not actually using their conduit to the max of the conduit's ability. You know? They're making it easy for themselves from their own damage, but they're not using the actual purpose of the conduit. Now, of course, if we're talking about straight up 150 only, then yes, they're using both their paragons and the conduit. But for a number that is like to the limit of their own gameplay, they're not using their conduit like to clear what they could have cleared, because they work so much on their paragon, they don't actually like feel what they can do for real. They just assume that it's like, just like a speed GR or like a mid speeds, right? Basically, you have, let's say, 7K paragon, or let's say 6K paragon for a 142, right? The 6K paragon for 142, it makes it feel like a mid speeds. So what it does is that the person will click the pylons in a certain way that resemble the speed GR feeling. Yes, sure. Sometimes there are certain scenarios where I should click my pylon right away and I delay it too much because I'm thinking like I'm over planning it. Yes, there are some very unique situations. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's the TLDR. The TLDR is that basically what I'm saying is the same thing as the speed GR analogy that I'm just saying. Is that they're treating the conduit like a normal pylon. They're not actually using the conduit for what it always has been. That's why, for some people who've never played as well or who forgot that the conduit used to be even stronger, and it used to be, that's why they nerfed it, in fact. And that is also another reason why this game is actually um, more fun, but people make it less fun in many different ways. Now, of course, it's not fun for me to bang against the wall like this, right? But the the thing is, it's the same as in SSF, really. So, for example, if I'm ranking up the gems, yeah, this time I didn't rank up my gems like fully myself, like from the 134 onwards, right? But last season I did it. I got all the way to 150, right? 150, 150, 148 or something. My gems using God DH only. Like every time I push, I rank up my gems myself on a B minus tier. Yeah, they nerfed the conduit. Like long time ago, it was, well, I want to say, what was it? I'm trying to remember like how to phrase it. It was one of those like there was a time that it was like match your stats, and then there was another time that the length of the conduit, even before the flavor of time, I mean before the emanates and before flavor of time, it was very long. Like conduit was like basically the current state with the flavor of time makes it to feel like it was almost the same as in the past, basically. So basically, like in group play, if you don't have flavor of time, Conduit feels like normal. That's why people trivialize it, in fact. Yeah. So basically the Conduit is actually like right now it's the same feeling because of flavor of time in solo. Or if you actually use flavor of time in group play, then the Conduit is just about the same as a long time ago through the whole like 2 to 3 different changes that they did. I think it was two or three times they hit the conduit. um yeah, but generally I believe that the conduit with flavor of time matches how conduit used to work. That's why in group play it feels stupid, aside from the support, obviously, right? The support is using flavor of time, so the support still zaps stuff, but the conduit feels stupid if you don't maximize it in group play. And it's very hard to maximize in group play because there's too many targets to zap. Because the support will be pulling like a ton of stuff, right? And unless we're talking about the 150 speeds to where yes, the conduit can do enough as though you're doing a push, right? But in general, the conduit zap is very fast in group play. So that is also the reason why people trivialize the conduit, because they don't actually um, use the conduit to the limit of what it does. So for example, let me just give you another example where a lot of people know this already, and that is to do with the grotesque, right? Basically, you zap the grotesque, but in order to make your conduit actually useful, right? Your conduit zaps should not zap any of the worms or eels, if whatever you call it, after the grotesque explodes. Like you have to dodge. You have to dodge zapping the eels. If you zap the eels, even by accident, you waste damage, right? So that is the like the known idea about conduit itself is that you want to maximize the zaps correctly. It's also the same with the power pylon, right? The power pylon, you have to distinguish how much of it you need for the Rift Guardian versus when you use the power pylon for real, for clicking it like right away. Well, you can't really click it right away because you want the power pylon to also hit the same way that I'm talking about the conduit in order to match the like even close to what the power pylon should do for the Rift Guardian, right? So meaning that your power pylon has to hit exactly the elite's body themselves. Yeah. So the way that people are quote unquote trivializing the Conduit is because they're not watching the zaps, or or they're clicking the pylons in the simple terms. They're clicking the pylons in the way that they do for mid speeds or speeds. Basically, none of the pylons are strong except the power pylon. Well, I guess shield pylon is good because, people who don't want to die, even in softcore, shield pylon is the strongest. But really, shield pylon is actually like, to me, honestly, it's not always the strongest because the timing matters. So basically, if you're a person that doesn't die, the shield pylon feels less. If a person dies a lot in their pushing, the shield pylon is always going to be the strongest. But for me, the shield pylon, it depends on the build. Yeah, yeah, it helps with the necklace uptime for sure. But what a lot of people use the shield for is to reduce the number of deaths. That's the other problem. I mean, sure, the builds that people play are squishy, right? People love the Crusader, people love the Necromancer. So in that sense of the shield, is that it's required, and to feel like reasonable is, you know, where the shield comes up, right? But if you play a build that isn't really meant for 150 but is tanky enough, the shield has to do it. You have to play the shield in a different way. It's kind of like the missile dampening issue, you know, for certain builds. Missile dampening got hit also, but the feeling of when you can actually still use the missile dampening to your advantage, right, is the same as the shield, really. So not always my missile dampening play is the same as it does. Okay, there are moments that the missile dampening is different, right? Sometimes it's very weak and sometimes it's very strong. It it's very situational, and you have to get a feel for it. And I'm not 100% perfect on it either. The missile dampening thing is still something that I have to feel for it when it arrives. So like, one last example before I actually start pushing, visually speaking, is that um in my 141 clear, I actually made use of the missile dampening elite in almost like two different ways in that clear. In that 141 clear I used the missile dampening in two different ways. One was because I know it can help me spawn the Rift Guardian, and two, right? Um, I was like, do I need to use it to get my progression? So it was two different ways. But it's not the third way that I normally talk about with the missile dampening. The third way that I'm talking about, where I was before I mentioned my 141 usage, is actually in my 138, I think, attempts, right? The missile dampening can be useful and not useful at the same time. So the missile dampening is actually still exists. It's just very tricky to play. And it depends on the affixes, like the other affixes. Yeah. Anyway, back to the back to my actual attempts that is going to be like very annoying to do. We'll see if I can get a reasonable one that actually has good progress. But yeah, missile dampening is still it's still there. It just got hit a lot harder from when they they affected the ninth series satchel. It's part of it. For example, for God DH anyway, part of the God DH problem with the missile dampening was kind of solved on their end by affecting the ninth series satchel. That's like one of the more obvious things that they did. The other one is I don't know what the previous like coding was necessarily, but like there has got to be a second part to it. But the most obvious one is the ninth series satchel getting hit. That's the for specifically God DH anyway. But like other builds that may or may not have been affected depends on what they actually did for the missile dampening per build that still works or now doesn't work with missile dampening. So anyway, that's the missile dampening portion of like things. And then even elite affixes, right? A lot of people tend to not actually like use the advantage fully of an elite affix. You know, like if it's a teleporter, they're they're not actually actively thinking about the teleporting of the teleporter. A lot of people play this game in short, right? They are thinking too much about the COE. They're thinking negatively about wormhole, let's say. Sure, I understand that wormhole is negative, but there is a part of wormhole being positive as well. It's just rare, okay? Where teleport is actually useful is that it saves you time kiting. You just have to know how to affect the teleporter in the right way. Now, it doesn't always play into the advantage, but you should use it to your advantage. Or even not even the teleporter affix. Let's say the monster type, right? Last season in my 148, I actually like unintentionally, intentionally, right, affected one of the elites to my advantage in the 148, in especially the successful clear. I actually affected it in the same way I used the teleporter or in the same way I used a ghost elite, right? Or if you know the monster type, if you know the monster type that follows you really well, then you don't have to overstay, right? So for me, sometimes I like some other people who are who are really good at this game as well. They tell me in the chat, right? They're like, "Oh, this monster type follows you actually really well. They can detect you like, you know, um, more than 3 screens away, right?" At that moment, it's not that I'm stupid. It's actually the fact that I don't want it to follow me, and yet it sees me. So I'm like, I'm just upset that it sees me when I don't want it to see me. But in fact, it's more like when I know I want something to happen, I'm using it to my advantage. Rather than rather than just knowing that it does, you have to think about like how to turn it into an advantage. Like the elite affixes included. That is the fun in pushing because the elite affixes, more than half of them sucks. They're annoying. But how do you feel good about the game, right? And so I like to turn the elite affixes for the weaker ones into an advantage, because then you don't just look like, oh, this is so easy, right? Well, if it's so easy, why are you losing time? Well, you're losing time because you're not using the easy elite, knowing that if the easy elite is so easy, that just really means that you can kill it later. You don't have to kill it like this instant. You assume the progress is already there, right? So if you assume that the progress is already there, you just have to keep it moving. Now, of course, every elite affix compounds the problem. So now the question you ask yourself is the reason why you killed it right now important because you don't want to compound, right? And so a lot of people when they push, they know this in the back of their mind. They just don't actively think about that. Like a lot of people know their stuff, but they just don't actively activate that. And so for me, when I don't use Paragon number, is that I actually can actively use some of the stuff. When your Paragon number is higher and higher and higher, until until you really need it, which is at the wall that I'm at most of the time, that's when you need the Paragon number. But a lot of people's Paragon number actually exceeds more than half the time. They only really play the Paragon number for the time attack that they are doing on that other build. Like, they are looking at the Paragon number for time attack already. They're not really using the Paragon number for the push itself. Like the generic first 150. My like like this breakdown is the generic first 150. Like I'm always playing the generic 150. Not necessarily 150 as a number, but like any limit of that build is where my thinking my thought process is always going to be. Whereas the Paragon number that a lot of people play at is already the time attack or the efficiency of the group. It has nothing to do with the push itself. Unless you're playing a tier of the build that actually needs that number. Like this one, for instance. Which is why it feels kind of weird that I'm talking about it in the wrong way. Because this build actually needs it. Unfortunately, it it's the opposite of what I'm talking about because actually this build actually needs it. Now, however, for certain ones that are researched and the ones that people actually want to play, you don't actually need it. You're only thinking about it as a time attack feature. Yeah, so anyway, it's just really funny. Last time I think I tried one emerald. Um, I don't know. I feel weaker when I tried one emerald, actually. When I tried one emerald, I actually felt weaker. As in the one more emerald in the chest piece. I felt weaker in the sense that I cannot play how I want to play. Like, I have slightly more damage, yes, by the fact of the guardians, but I'm still getting hurt to where I'm like playing um more defensive regardless. So I feel like the 3 diamond 2 emeralds, it's fine. I did swap the shoulder though to just the like 20 more dexterity basically, and then slightly more health globes and pickup radius, so that I can actually get like to heal back from a health globe when I need it. And that's like yet another thing, you know, that for example, people who love to use blood vengeance, they're not thinking about how they play in a push without the blood vengeance, but yet bring back the mindset of blood vengeance into their gameplay without it. Like without it being on the passives actively, you still need to actively feel like the blood vengeance is there in terms of your health globes. So that is yet another thing. Like as simple as it sounds, the way that you move in a rift is how blood vengeance exists even though it doesn't exist on your passives selected. Yeah, there are a lot of little things, basically speaking. And that's the fun. And in the same way that chess is fun, is that it's not just about the known names, right? You call whatever Queen's Gambit, blah 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 blah. It's not just the term of it being fun. It's where your stuff are actually positioned that makes it interesting, right? And that's why they name them. But like you have to think about the positioning. So a lot of times when I'm liking Paragon is that I'm thinking about my positioning. And I'm not thinking about the positioning just for DPS. I mean, I don't have DPS. My Paragon number is lacking that. So I'm needing to consider my positioning carefully. Yeah. All right. So 142, 26th try. Here we go. It's. I really hope that today I can see more progress that's like closer to enable to see my success. Otherwise, it's like I just get nowhere. Okay. This doesn't look good already. I mean, it's okay. I just need to play like a lot of. I need to like waste a lot of space, I guess, of the map. And this is where I talk about positioning. The positioning has to do with your position on the map as well. And that has to do with not engaging the elites that was near the door, if possible, right? Because I already got a second elite here. Or did I not trigger an elite? Okay, I was not watching that charge, by the way. I was busy using my Oculus Ring. And that's the bad news about my 142s recently. The 142s recently have been causing me to die more often. Because I'm trying too hard on every Oculus Ring. And I'm not watching like one of the chargers out of the 4. Yeah, there is an elite here. I was like, there's no way I didn't see the elite, right? But like, the position part of this... Wow. I had to watch both the chargers there. But yeah, the door elite I didn't want to play. So that's why I was glad it didn't follow. So I have to keep moving now. Really? I'm not looking at the chargers. Okay, that one I saw. I just think that there's too much to like notice that I'm not like focused in the charger. Okay, a little overlap. Wow, I almost took that hit too. Again, I'm just using Oculus rings instead of watching the chargers for real. Okay, I need to move again, I think. After this Oculus ring, I guess. Okay, I guess I can steal this Oculus ring. The blue is about to die. I might be able to kill before I move, actually. If I have enough Oculus rings. No, I don't. Well, kinda do and don't at the same time. Okay. Uh, this is why I don't like one of the blues. They're always very healthy. This is wasting my time because one of the blues is always too healthy. But I think I have to clear it before I move because this is gonna take too long to follow me. Okay, full clear basically. Now I have to move again. Really? An early power, like just randomly decided. I wasn't even thinking that they would give me like a 20% pylon or something, like a early 20%, but they just did, right? And I didn't like that actually, because now I have to work for a second one, and then I have to think about this power, like how I'm gonna use it for later. It's ridiculous. It's stupid. Basically, in essence, it's taking up too much of my space. Like, memory space. Like, I have to keep in mind of so many different things now. Okay, I think I have to move. Well, not about for that charger, but I feel like I have to move again. Now, the worst part, I feel like the other blue elite reincarnated. It's a totally separate, different elite, but I felt like they reincarnated. They're like, you took us down so easily earlier. What about a second one? Ah, now I have a problem. Now I have too many elites. I don't have enough density. I have too many elites. So working to my second pylon is gonna be a problem. Because I'm gonna start losing time over time. Due to the elite affixes. Because they're also gonna eat up the spot that I can use the like any Oculus ring. It's not that I don't want to use Oculus rings. It's more so like I'm affected by the elite affixes or like a random charger or something. Like almost that. I like how as soon as I say it, I didn't do what I needed to do. Or I say it and then it almost happened. See, I can't even go to that Oculus ring. Okay, so that was a 21% power, which means I need to go at least what? 40 something? I'm gonna get 40 something with this annoyance. And the other thing is I don't know how much room I want to waste. Because either I move too far away from the Conduit play, or I have to go back too far with my Conduit. So I'm losing time because I have to think about the Conduit. Or even the shield. Which is my second pylon that I need to plan for. So I'm losing time, basically. This is why, like, having multiple elites like this is really bad. So I need 40 something. But like, I don't know if it's the early 40 something or late 40 something. If it's a late 40 something, I'm almost doomed, basically. If it's the early 40 something, I might still have a chance. And then comes the how greedy I am with the power. But this monster set, I cannot use the power properly on the elite monsters themselves. Because there's just too many, like, random bodies. So, this is basically screwed. Like, I have to pray that I get a conduit. Like, basically, I have to get a conduit. Within the next, like, minute, it has to be a conduit, or it's, like, pretty much done. Okay, that probably is bad, but I think I have to go check soon. Okay, at least this is not the spot, but that means that the conduit is farther away if it's gonna give it to me. Okay, so it didn't. It ran out of space. I ran out of festering. So it's too small. The layout was too small to give me my... So now the question is the next floor an entrance pylon? Alright, let's check the next floor then. Is there an entrance pylon? No. Okay, so no entrance pylon means it's over. Because it's too far. Okay, it's even a short floor 2, so... Yep, no hope now. Doesn't matter, it's a short floor 2. This floor 2 ruined it all anyways. But I was okay up until I think it was like what 25, 20, 20 I think 27%. 27% was when I started losing time over time. That was not a bad one. It just wasn't a shield or a conduit. Because based on that that usual like quote unquote four corner like turn, right? That wasn't like the actual four corner map because the layout was too small. But like in the known four corner festering, at that spot is where the shield is really good. Obviously, Conduit would have been better, but like if the power pylon was a shield pylon, it would still be fine because I had so many elites already grouped up together while also gaining Oculus rings from the density. So the shield is fine, had it been a shield. Now, it's not the most optimal, but it's fine. And that's where the power couldn't help because there's just too many targets. I could probably take out like 2 elites, I think, with the power, but that's not enough. If I were to use the power there, I need to kill 4, or maybe even a full clear. Like whatever I saw on the screen, I have to kill all 4, and there was no way. And then the conduit didn't arrive, and the floor 2 was too short. Well, it was a an elongated Temple of the Firstborn, but it was too short that it didn't help because the pylon spawn points were not there. Um, Let me just write down the floors real quick. I should have been doing that while I was talking about it already. All right, so 26th try, fail. 21% power pylon. Well, floor 1, festering woods, summoner mob sets, worked to 21% power pylon. Um, got the turning point of the 4 corners, so to speak, but too many elites now that the map layout festering was actually too small for next pylon help at 40 something percent. Floor 2 check. Temple Firstborn elongated version. Short skip, well, fast skip to floor 3 check is Autumn Forests. Blah blah blah. Hey Carl, you're thinking monk start for next? Yeah, the dexterity way to play has always been there, like long time ago, back in Inferno days, where when I first started playing the game from day one and stuff, uh, it's like both my roommate and we played monk, and then the next week, well, in my case, of how I wanted to learn Diablo 3, from Diablo 2 onwards, was that I would use dexterity gear, whatever I didn't need, or whatever I could push over to the DH. So that's how I played. Week by week by week was monk into demon hunter into learning the uh uh witch doctor, and then transitioning to the wizard, and then going to the barb. The witch doctor and the wizard, I may have reversed them, but basically the witch doctor though was really helpful in making me learn how to start dodging arcane beams and mortar in the barracks. Like there was like 1 or 2 elite packs in the barracks that was like I was trying to like learn how to dodge arcane beams in one single medium-sized room, like encircling and dancing and stuff as a witch doctor. And that's one of the most advantageous thing I did long ago, is to like learn how to weave in and out and stuff. And that's why earlier I was talking about a lot of at the end there I was talking about positioning yourself in the rift, and yes, I got hit by a lot of chargers. This time in the 142 is because I'm trying to use too many Oculus rings that I'm not watching the chargers themselves. Like there were like three. There were at first there were only two chargers. I didn't even watch the other one. But as soon as there were four chargers, I'm not thinking about the chargers. I was thinking too much about the Oculus rings at that point to even mentally like time each different charger's exact charge moment. So I got procced again. Or I was almost dead like three different times. I barely dodged them. Yeah, so a lot of times these kind of positionings go back to how I used to play the Witch Doctor long, long time ago as a training process of like working around a lot of stuff. Yeah, I mean, again, the ethereal part is that the your level 70 weapon is really strong until the ethereal gives a power that you normally know how to play or that is the strongest to reach a build that is commonplace. If the ethereal gives the a weapon power that is commonplace enough, then it will begin to accelerate much quicker. It's just that the level 70 weapon still resembles fine up until the like 62 to 70 or something like that. And the in between the 62 to 70, depending on what the weapon power is, right? The weapon power might be a little stronger based on a multiplier. But yeah, it's like a like a toss up. And then you want the next ethereal weapon to drop. So it's kind of like very silly, but like the thing is, the faster you get through 1 to 70, the worse it feels with the ethereal weapon versus your level 70 weapon because you're not giving it enough chance to drop in the first place. Like in terms of the total number of ethereal RNG. So if you want the ethereal to help you, you actually want to be a little slower in leveling, which is kind of weird because you actually want to get to 70 faster, right? But at that point, you might as well just play it as though there wasn't an ethereal advantage in the beginning. You just want ethereal to drop like later. It's kind of like the traditional way, right? You don't want, a useful item name to drop at level 69. You want the item name to drop at level 70 or a little bit past 70 because the level 69 stats is what's annoying. So it's the same idea. It's the same idea to that, where you either want multiple ethereals to drop. Yeah, yeah, it was. It was. It's just it's just that I think visions are nice to accommodate that. And that's why it's like the slower experience sometimes is just nicer because you're like hoping too much for the number of puzzle rings. I mean, sure, if you are working towards that ancient puzzle ring and you have plenty of puzzle rings to use, that is like, you know, the key part of why we're thinking about them like that. But realistically, the vision count I think is stronger because a lot of people know how to get their visions, quite quickly. And so if we're just like depending on puzzle ring, it's not that helpful. But yeah. Alright, so 27. Oh man, that Festering Woods was so, like, too tiny. 27. Up. Yeah, this is gonna be a fast skip, I think. Let's see. Let's check floor 2. Big spiders. I need a big room of them, or I can't play it at all. This is a medium-sized keeps already, if not the larger one. There is a chance I can play this spot, but it's a lot of work. Nah, let's skip. I wasted a bit of time there, but I kind of want to know if I wanted to play that spot specifically. So this is the large keeps, or at least one of the regular large ones. Yep, it is actually the largest version, I think, or close to the largest version. And it's over. Well, I mean, I used up a lot of time. Medium spiders is fine, but I believe it's over because the keeps was too large. Because I can use medium spiders, but if I'm just gonna use medium spiders to make back the time, I can't. The medium spiders are meant to break even the time and not make back the time. I mean, you can only make back the time if you're like already thinking about the pylon in the middle. Like if you have a pylon that you're working on, then yes, you can make back the time with medium spiders. But this spot where I'm at is like really difficult to make back the time. Yep. I wasn't even focused anyways because like I got 4%, but I'm also losing time while I'm gaining the 4% from medium spiders. So no, that was too much time to catch up. And that's another reason why people don't even bother with keeps, is because now on the other side, my 141, was it the 141 or 140? One of those, I had a short keeps. I think it was 141. So when you do get a short keeps, or one of those, anyway, if you do get a short keeps, you may find yourself able to skip much quicker. I decided to stay for like some big spiders, and that was also a 10-second dump already. Floor 1, large keeps, skip. Floor 2, shock tower, medium, spiders, offset. Alright, 28. Okay, another festering woods. This is the ghoul one. The ghoul one's interesting too. They're easy to kill, but that might also make that the whole map gets revealed really quickly. Because you have to go really far to get a lot of them. Like, you need so many of them. So this is not a good start. Because I'm not gaining progress. It might take up a lot of space on the map. Okay, at least they're following. Did they all follow? See, this is what I didn't want to happen. The third one didn't follow very well. Oculus rings. Ring. Okay, I might need to move soon. Okay. Okay. What is this side? Really? There's like 1,000 elites now. Like, I don't have any space to play. I mean, this is good news and bad news. The good news is I know I can play a shield for this again. The bad news is what the first pylon is gonna be. But now the other problem is I don't know where I can get my progress. I'm super stuck now. Like, in order to spawn the first pylon, I need progress. Or I need to get enough progress. And I'm losing time again, just like last time. Well, let's hope that I get early pylon. And even then, now I have another different problem. I have a problem that they're getting stuck. So if I do get a shield, they're gonna get split apart in the stuck spot in 2 different spots, right? So sad. And my timer is already miles ahead. And the miles ahead part is because there's too many elites now. It's not because I played poorly, it's because the number of elites stalled me positionally. Like, had I gotten this density earlier, it would have been fine. I didn't need, like, 3 elite packs. Well, there's like 4, but 13%. Can I get an early pylon, maybe? No? The problem is that they're getting too split now. Like, I want them to follow, but I also don't want them to follow. Because I'm not gaining progress. I'm just losing time. Ah. So this is now I need a conduit. Field can't even do it now. Like, they're getting so split. The elites are now getting so split. Is there a chance? No, there's no chance. Oh man, I'll just get my EXP, I guess. There's no chance. I don't think there is. It's gonna give me a bad pylon now. I mean, after all, my elites are so scattered. Like, Conduit doesn't do anything. Unless I get new elites. Conduit would be great. Yep, I knew this was gonna happen. All right, so I guess I have to go back for them. Ah, this. How do you play this? They're just so split. I don't even know how to play this Conduit. It's so split. Okay, that's about it. I mean, I did what I could with that Conduit. Okay. Yep, there was another blue here that I couldn't play. Follow up Lake Tunnels. Okay. Stalling my second pylon. The mob type is okay, but it stalls my second pylon, which is bad. Like, the problem now is that the pylon spawn point is pushed farther and farther away. So I did get the Conduit that I asked for. It was just annoying because I could have gotten like more elites if it was a little positionally central, right? That's why people want a central Conduit. The Conduit was not central, so my elites got split. I mean, it was still fine if you remember where they are, which makes you overthink. Because you need to, like, process how much of progress you can get back. Come on. Kill these already. Come on. I lost time. The one Oculus ring didn't appear on time to chain this, so I lost time. Alright, where's my pylon? I can't just sit and play now. I need to know what my second pylon is. The second pylon got pushed. There's no donuts. Where's the donut? Hello? Oh. Power. Power, you say? I guess I'll just have to play it. Of course, Frozen Pulse. I don't even think I can kill any of the elites. There's just too many targets. But if I don't use the power, then if I don't use the power, I get nothing. I can't kill the Rift Guardian now. Yeah, I don't think I can kill anything. That's what I expected. There were too many targets. Yep. I mean, they are hurt. They're really... Well, I got hurt there because I was maxing the Oculus Ring usage there. They're really hurt. Like, the blue is almost dead. But because I couldn't kill even one of the blues is really healthy anyways. So that was pretty good. This was a break even. This was generally a break even rift. That's the conduit, by the way, that I want to see. Well, a better one. But at least I got to see an actual conduit that was, like, theoretically fun. Wow. Might have gotten away with that. Can I just take out the blue? At least the blue? Thank you. No, these are too healthy. Yeah, these are too healthy. What is the next floor? Shop tower. Is there a chance it's the bad... It's a bad monster type. Rip. Bad monster type. Follow up. 2 little donuts. And too far. The first donut was too far. Alright, 28th try fail. Floor 1, Festering Woods. It was Blazing Ghouls with Summoner Mobset. Conduit was late, but I made back time with, what was it, 6 elites? At least 5. At least 5 elites split up in 3 different spots. I think it was like 5 or 6. It's probably 6 elites. I think it's 6. I think I managed to get 6. I think. Because I bought back what? 40%? Yeah. I bought back 40% at least, so that's 6. Floor 2, plague tunnels with 1 donut super late that pushed my second pylon, which was power pylon at what, 73% progress, something like that. 71, 73, I don't know. And then floor 3 check was floor 3 check at 89%. 1 minute behind was Fire Shaman Mass Mobset. Yeah, that was actually a fun rift. I mean, I got to 80, like, what was it, 73%, 80% break even. So that Festering Woods could have been better, but that was like good enough. It was interesting. It was an interesting Festering Woods. I need something like that. But then what happens is that the follow-up, which is why people want Aura Extremes, right? Because the follow-up was terrible. Like, because there was another way to play the Conduit, The other way to play the Conduit is that you need to hope that the second floor is good. Then you can play the Conduit differently. But I think that in my mind, I knew where most of my elites were. It was just faster for me to go backwards. But had I pulled them together like a bit better, it depends on the zaps though. Like the way that they were split, it was nicer for the zaps, but it was also poor because I had to go like I have to retrace my steps. So the retracing also ate time at the end. Like it ate back, I think like 20 seconds. Well, technically more than that because I had to go backwards. So it also ate like 35 seconds of my conduit. You basically want a good fluid conduit to get that time lead. So like most of that time was like eaten up. The time lead was eaten up. And then the follow up was so bad that it ate all of my conduit because the power didn't do enough. Yeah. 29. Okay. What kind of Desolate Sense is this? Okay, this is Anarchs. Anarchs could be fun. What is this yellow elite though? Teleporter. Teleporter is fine. And it follows pretty well. The only question is, do I have enough Anarchs here? Do I have enough Anarchs here? I thought I saw more than this. Why does it feel so, like, worthless now? That's strange. I thought there were more of it. Maybe the elite, like, made me feel like there were enough. Now there's not enough. Dang. It wasn't enough. This is so sad. There wasn't enough Anarchs in here. Because it was part of the elites. And there's so many elites. I mean, I can try to play this spot and then I have to skip the floor and check floor 2 to see what I should have gotten if I had gone to skip faster. So we'll check it out in a bit. Yeah. Really? Was it that painful? Come on. Oh, it's probably because I didn't press my vengeance on time. Because I'm like worried about my progress. I can't even get my 6%. Okay, I got my 6%. 7%. Okay, can I get 1 more percent? Thank you. Okay, I think I have to check. Okay, there's lots of elites, but what's my floor 2? Okay, it's West March. Oh, okay, I'm out. That West March Moon Clan was really high density, but I'm so far behind time that I cannot play that. 29th try fail, floor 1 Desolate Sands, Anarchs and Demon Troopers. apparently the first elite uh had part of the Anarchs. Floor 2 check. West March. Moon Clan Impalers. Alright. 29th, so this is the 30th try. Okay, Graveyard, let's see what this is. Waller to start is bad. It's Lacuni Slashers. Okay, I think I can play here. But the walling sucks though. Oh, this one is not the Waller. That's good. Bad. I'm trying to use the Oculus Ring, but I cannot use any Oculus Rings. Yeah, the 142 is getting me in really big trouble because I'm trying to use the Oculus Rings a lot. Wait. Wait, did the Waller arrive or why were there no walls earlier? I don't know. The Waller arriving is not great. I don't know what happened earlier, but earlier I felt like there were no walls, and then suddenly there's walls. So the Waller must have arrived and saw me. I mean, he probably didn't cast any walls at first, which is the good news at first. But now it's not good. I mean, I'm seeing my progress bar. I'm not silly, but the walls are not helping. Okay. 12%. I think I have to move really shortly. Probably like 1 more percent. Yeah, I have to move, I think. Okay, not this way. Okay, got snuck the percent. Channeling. Oh my gosh, man, this game. Like, can they, like, give me a play so that they can make me think of how I can play this? Instead of, like, not being able to play it at all? Because if I had gotten a shield, look at that. How many elites are there? If they gave me a conduit there, all I had to do was bring everything together and see if I can play it. But no, they don't want me to do that. They're like, oh, you're done. Because there's like, what, 7 elites or something? Like 6 minimum. Like, there's 2 over here, or whatever. There's like 1. Well, not... Yeah, so there's 1 over here, 2, 3 that was following me the whole time. 4, 5. Where was the 6th one? Thought I saw a 6th one somewhere. Yeah, 6th one. This one. This is the 6th one. So there's like 6. But no, they gave me a channeling.
I can't do that here.
30th try, fail. Floor 1, graveyard. Lacuni, slasher, mob sets. Found a good spot to gain the first 12 to 16%. Spotted channeling pylon while seeing 5 to 6 elite packs. Sadness. That's so sad. Had it been a conduit, it would be quite fun, I guess. It was gonna be. It's actually hard, probably harder to play than the Festering Woods because then I have to group up so many of them, and then the zaps would go to the Lacuni slashers themselves and the fire shamans instead of the elite. And then there's a transformer at the bottom, yellow elite, that was gonna take up a lot of the conduit's time, so that elite is basically not really counted. And then I have to go back for the zombies on the top left, which is like too much time. Like there's not enough time for the conduit to zap basically. If even if I play the conduit out, if it had been a conduit, it would be too much time taken for the conduit before it reaches that zombie, unless I went for the zombie first and then go back to the middle. 31st try. Pandemonium. I'm getting like reasonable monster set. The problem is that I don't have enough of them.
I'm still waiting.
So far, some of the monster sets have been really nice. Just not getting enough of them. So Whopping Horrors is basically Face Beast Blow. Computer.
I'm still waiting.
Okay, my computer is acting weird there. Give me 1 second. I feel like that's the sign of needing to clean the computer like physically. When that happens, it's like I have to get the computer aired out.
I wish I
I
could.
lost like 10 seconds.
Need more time.
Do I have enough
Not ready yet.
to get back my time? Probably not.
I'm still waiting. Not ready yet.
Okay. These Oculus rings are so dangerous.
Need more time. Just wait here.
These Oculus rings are terrible. I think this one's okay, but okay. I think I ran out of. Okay, I didn't want that. Okay, actually I do. Okay. All right. So 8% conduit.
I'm still waiting.
Now I just need to find elites. Okay. So I have 2 here. Or whatever. Is it a small floor?
Not ready yet.
It's a bridge. Okay, there's another one.
Need more time.
Okay. So, okay, there's another elite.
I'm still waiting.
This might be too many targets for the conduit.
Not ready yet.
This is the worst part is there's too many targets for the conduit.
I'm still waiting. I'm injured.
Uh-oh.
Need more time. Not ready
I
yet.
have to get the other stuff lower health first. Because there's too many targets.
I'm still waiting. Need more time. Do you want more? Not ready yet. I'm still waiting.
Nice Oculus ring. I was traveling there already.
Need more time.
I think I almost got enough of the density
I'm
now.
still waiting. Need more time. Not ready yet.
At this point, I might as well wait.
I'm still waiting. Not ready yet.
Okay.
Need more time. Your fear betrays you. Not ready yet. Need more time.
One,
You won't survive that.
two, three.
Need more time.
Okay.
I'm still waiting.
Let's get some density. Okay, that's it.
Not
It's
ready
fine, I
yet.
guess.
Need more time.
Okay. Shield.
Not
Huh.
ready yet.
What is this? Okay, so I have to bring everyone. Wow, I have to bring everybody to this pylon. Okay.
Need more time.
I think I have to play it. Okay, let's see how many
I'm still
goes
waiting.
down here. I don't think I can kill too many of them. There's too many targets. I'm surprised that I got the shield pylon, to be
Need more
honest.
time.
But I didn't waste space, by the way, on my conduit. That's the thing. That's the one
Not
thing
ready
that
yet.
you have to notice, positionally speaking, is how you don't waste space with the conduit so that you can get your pylon spawn points.
I'm still waiting. Need more time.
My issue is I can't kill. I think I can only kill one blue here. This is a problem.
I'm still
I
waiting.
think I have to leave this spot as soon as I clear that blue, if I can even kill the blue, because
Not
there's just too
ready
many
yet.
targets. Uh, actually not happy.
Need more
I think
time.
this is bad. Yeah, I think I ate all the things I could eat here. Yep, this is terrible.
I'm still waiting.
Sad.
Need more time.
Exarchs is fine, but I think I don't have enough Exarchs. Yeah,
I'm still waiting.
that was way too many targets
Not
for the
ready yet.
shield. Not enough blues, in fact. There were too many other kinds.
I'm still waiting.
Man, that conduit, well, I guess the other thing I could have done is not waste so much time, but then there's too many targets for it to zap.
Need more time. Not ready yet.
Such a nice conduit, too. Yeah, that's the
I'm
exits.
still waiting.
Uh, the other play was to grab the shield and leave the floor.
Need more time.
Or I could have played even more greedy, but my time didn't show it. I was losing so much
Not
time I
ready
had to
yet.
go for it, and then I ended up having more conduit.
Need more time.
Uh, so my issue with that conduit was
I'm
that
still waiting.
I sh so what happened is that so now I'm not happy with the shield is because
Need more time.
uh basically the conduit had it been only half used and then I went to check,
I'm still waiting.
so I killed too many elites with the conduit. I killed one too many.
Not ready yet.
Basically I had one too many, so my conduit play was actually too good because I made the shield useless.
I'm still waiting.
Ah, I misplayed the conduit.
Not ready yet. I'm still waiting.
I misplayed the conduit. Even though the conduit felt so nice, I actually misplayed it.
Not ready yet.
It's because I was actually too strong with it. Because what I should have done is, based on the fact that the channeling pylon existed there too, it meant that I was gonna get 3 pylons like much earlier. Like that's a little hindsight, but the problem is that had I played the conduit a little bit less progress, if I saw the shield, I would have insta grabbed the shield already. And then there were 2 more elites right then and there. So then it would have made the shield a bit more useful in the sense that I
I'm still
pulled
waiting.
more without the risk of getting procced while I played the conduit. While I played the second half of the conduit.
We need more time.
So I rendered I rendered the shield useless, and then the shield lost me time
Not ready yet.
because I have no progress. Like I'm losing time as soon as yeah.
I'm
See, I
still
got the
waiting.
power pylon. Yeah, I rendered the shield useless.
Not ready yet.
That was a nice conduit too. I rendered the shield
We need more
useless.
time.
That sucks. Uh, I guess I'll just use the.
I'm
Mm,
still waiting.
how do I want to use the power though? I feel like I should just take the
We need more
EXP,
time.
but the question is, can I spawn the Rift Guardian?
I'm still waiting.
Oh
Not
man,
ready yet.
my conduit play was too good.
I'm still waiting.
I basically one pylon that floor
Your
when I
fear
should have
betrays you.
done like a half and half.
We need more time.
The shield should have done more had I gone to check. I didn't reveal
Not
enough
ready
of the
yet.
map, basically, is what I'm saying. I played the convict like super conserve
We need
the
more
map
time.
to the point that the other pylons were worthless.
I'm still
Sure, I
waiting.
got some face beast out of the shield, but like I've used all my
Not ready yet.
like density already, so it didn't matter. It didn't matter what the shield was gonna do.
We need more time.
Oh, okay. It was Perendi.
Not ready yet. I'm still waiting.
Okay, not bad. I mean, at least I saw a nice conduit. Like, well, two. I had two
We need
nice
more
conduits,
time.
but still.
I'm still waiting. Not ready yet.
Yep, just. at the end of the power.
My name is Ash, and like Orin,
Uh,
I have a
I'll just
dream
take the
to
EXP here. That's why I played the end. Oh man,
Your trial is complete.
that's too much progress with the conduit. That's something weird you would say. 1647, 31st try fail, 1647.849. Computer lagged for 10 seconds at the start. Saw conduit at, what was it, 8 or 9%? 8 or 9%. Um, I I went to check for 2 or 3 more elites. I think 2 more elites. So I had like 4 elites near conduit. Well, near conduit before the conduit. And then I went to check after the conduit. I saw another 2 elite packs with loads of density. Delayed my conduit play for like 2 minutes and then played the conduit and over uh under revealed the map during conduit play, resulting in next pylons were shield and channeling at the same time practically, uh where the shield was rendered useless except for like I think 7% progress or something from remainder warping horrors because I had 4 elites to clear with shield and channeling. Floor 2, check shrouded more with I think it's Exarchs and Demon Troopers or something like that. Um Played density for 91% progress. Floor 3 check is cave. Moon Clan Impalers with a 91% power pylon. Already 1 minute of Rift total remaining. Decided to play for Spawn, Rift Guardian, Arendi. Yeah. So that try I played the conduit too well and it was actually a bad thing. I under revealed the map. I mean, I did check my like I did pull more stuff past the conduit. So the TLDR is that this is the effect of overstaying. I overstayed the where I pulled all the elite packs. I overstayed. I should have progressively moved forward. So stupid. Because I I lost the effect of the shield. The shield did nothing. Like it gave me like 7 to 10%, sure. But that's like nothing compared to my conduit. My conduit was like what, 50%? because I saw the conduit at like 8 or 9%. I gained like, even though I spent 2 minutes before clicking the conduit, I gained back like 3 minutes. So my conduit play was too good. I just didn't make use of the map. Like I made use of the map too late. I mean, I did make use of my map by not playing the map, by letting it spawn the pylons, but what was I gonna do with the rest of my pylons? There wasn't anything strong. So the only the only saving grace, okay, the only saving grace that would ever put the shield into a better spot there was to have missile dampening. So like either the shield or the channeling had to spawn a missile dampening. And even then, I had to play even more compact to make sure that the missile dampening took out the blue. It didn't even take out the blue that was in the middle of the channeling and shield. Like there was one healthy blue. That's what's sad. Because I kept losing time. Like I gained the time from the conduit and then I lost it all. Well, it happens that way because I like paragons, but I also didn't have any opportunity for the other pylons to do anything for me. That's like the classic. It's my own mistake to make, and it just so happens to be one of those like super greedy conduits. That was too greedy. That conduit was way too greedy. Well, actually, it's like not way too greedy. It was just like stingy. I know that's like the opposite synonym, but it's like stingy because of the map. I was greedy enough for the conduit. I was stingy for the map. Because as soon as I revealed that the shield, I was like, okay, well, I need to move forward to check for elites around the shield anyway. And then I saw the channeling in addition. That's when you know that the conduit was stingy with the map. Because normally you only get pylon after pylon in a speed GR or a mid speed GR, and that conduit acted like a mid speed GR to where you're getting your pylons not progressively when you want the pylons to be progressive, right? Because if you don't get any help between the second and the third pylon or the third and the fourth pylon, you're losing time over time, which means the conduit was too early. In fact, the conduit was too early because it was the first pylon. It was 8 to 9%. So meaning that in fact there was another way to play this, which is why I delayed the conduit, picking up the conduit, because I was trying to build progress myself, right? In order to delay the conduit, turning it as though it spawned later. Like I'm just like disguising the 8 or 9% conduit to be like a 20% conduit, which is what it did. But then I didn't move myself through the map while I was doing that progress. in the way that I delayed the conduit. Yeah. Anyway, that was stupid. Probably wasted the clear. It was still like unlikely. I think it was still unlikely, but
I require a new
I sort of
supply.
wasted the clear. I think what threw me off were two things. I mean, I'm still like thinking back about it when it's already done and done and over with. But I think there were two things that threw me off really. One was the computer lagging for some reason, which was fine afterwards. Um, and then the other thing that threw me off was the fact that I got procced. Like, you know, like during the delay of me picking up the conduit was not just because I wanted to delay the conduit, like I said. I delayed the conduit because I don't want to die with the conduit. Because then you lose zaps, right? So when I get procced, I play poorly. So even though it didn't seem like I played poorly in the during that proc, the the proc itself caused problems. And that is why I play zero rips, by the way. Is because at well, zero rips is not even a like the issue. The issue is I even try to play zero procs if I could, right? And the 142 is making me get proc even more often. And like the procs are like bad. For Keystone, when I get procced, I play worse. And I've always said this. I didn't have to like reiterate, but I decided to bring that up because um like I didn't want to move forward with the map is because I had so many things there. I didn't want to rip in essence. But when I had it under control, as soon as I played the conduit, I felt like I should have just slanted forward, but I didn't. And the other reason why I didn't have to is because the elites were all compacted. It was too compacted. It was too good. Like I gathered them so well for the zaps that I didn't have to move. Because at the end of the conduit, right? Like even after most of the elite died or all of the elite died, I still have my conduit zaps. And I ended up going for density, which only gave me like 2% or something, 2-3% from the remainder zaps of the conduit right before I saw the shield. So like it goes back to where I I was too good at the conduit setup, basically, because I didn't even need to depend on the shield. Normally, you want to depend on the shield at some point. I didn't even depend on it. I rendered it useless, like I said 10 minutes ago, 10, 15 minutes ago. I'm actually going to go to the bathroom. I know I'm stalling again, but like, I just had to like analyze it to where I'm talking negatively about what I did. Like, that was not positive. Like, the conduit play was not positive, actually. Funny enough. Like, oh, you took out like 5 elites. What's wrong with that? Well, in order to play well or improve, you got to find the negative side of what you did. Well, find the mistakes, right? You got to find the mistakes. Every little possible mistakes. Anyway, be right back. Ah, back. Wow, that's brutal. Okay, second try. Arik Crater. Is this the Dream Arik Crater? It's Anarch's Demon Troopers again, but it's not the layout I want.
Not ready yet.
I have to gather everyone together.
I'm still waiting. Not ready yet. I need more time.
Where's the Oculus Ring? Thank you. I was about to say.
I'm still waiting.
Second one? Where is it? Oh, it's like in the middle.
I need more time. Not ready yet. I'm still waiting.
Needs the timing. I need a good timing Oculus. Nope, I didn't get a good timing Oculus.
I'm still waiting.
Full clear. Okay,
I need more time.
8%. No early pylon spot. Okay. I guess I have to check the next floor, or potentially play here, I guess. This is the other spot I can play.
I need more time. I'm still waiting. I need more time.
yes. Shield. I decided to check it. What's my next floor?
Not ready yet.
Shield for what? Hmm, they're both yellow elites, so the shield is basically useless. Yeah, it is over. I needed that to be a conduit since this is a shield. This shield is useless. It's 12% shield.
Need more time.
I'll just get some EXP from this shield. I mean,
Not ready yet.
I decided to check the spawn point, but that's only if it was a conduit to be able to play upstairs and downstairs, because I've done it before. And I've done a shield play also, but it was a fields
Need more time.
follow-up with the same shield kind of thing.
Not ready yet.
So this is the blue at least that I wanted to see, except not a walling.
Your fear
And
betrays
effectively, just like the last rift, the shield would have been better had I seen more of the density that I already took out.
Need more time.
And this is why you see the progress is actually coming back slightly, is because the shield actually did something. Or at least doing something, I should say.
Not ready yet.
The shield last one was practically zero value.
Sweet revenge. I'm still waiting.
Okay. This is the end of the floor. I want to make sure that I didn't have a sneaky pylon. This walling isn't helping.
Need more time.
Okay. My only concern is what the next floor is gonna be. I got 12% shield, so my next pylon is like 40% potentially.
Not ready yet.
So I need a good monster type on the next floor without wasting more time. I need to clear this spider, but this spider isn't dying because there's no Oculus Rain. Okay. 10%. I need to get 10%.
Not ready yet.
There's no pylon there. So I need to play here.
Need
So
more
there is a
time.
chance, but it's getting slimmer by the minute.
I'm still waiting. Not ready yet. Need more time.
Just can't. I'm starting to lose time again.
I'm still waiting.
Okay, come on. I need consistent Oculus rings. Without danger.
More time.
This is very hot. For very little, this is very hot. Okay.
Not ready yet.
Uh-oh. I think it's lost. I'm not getting enough density again. They're delaying my last 5% chance.
Not ready yet. I'm still waiting.
Yeah, my final 5% that I want to see relative is not
Ready yet.
showing up. There's just too many elites stalling my percentage.
I'm still waiting.
And then the elites are like way in the back now
Need
because
more
I'm
time.
struggling to keep up time. So I didn't even have time to pull the other elite over, the previous elite over. So I lost one
Not ready
elite,
yet.
even if the conduit exists now. Let's say I'm gonna be one elite
I'm
short.
still waiting.
So let's check at the, let's check after this.
Need more time.
Okay. Is there a pylon
I'm still
potential?
waiting.
What did I tell you? What did I tell you?
Not ready yet.
Predictable? The game is predictable.
Need more time. That was just a taste. Not ready yet.
Shh. Stupid shielding.
I'm
Gosh.
still waiting. Darkness awaits you.
Shielding is so dumb.
Need more time. I'm still waiting. That was just a taste. Not ready yet.
Okay, what is the next floor? Ah,
Need more
man.
time.
Hey, lady, I just wasted a clear potential earlier because I didn't move forward
Not ready yet.
enough. I was too good with my conduit earlier, not this one. This one was okay. I mean, I kind of guessed the
Need more
conduit
time.
just now. I prayed for the conduit and I got it, but I sort of wasted one chance earlier,
I'm still waiting.
just before they'll be right back. This is a close one too, but
Not ready yet.
I should just go get the power, I think. I can't go back to that
Need more
power
time.
anyways. Yeah, I
I'm
wasted
still
a
waiting.
chance. I had a chance.
That was just a taste. Not ready yet.
This was close as well. I mean, I'm breaking even.
Still waiting.
Like, I'm breaking even.
Need more time. That was just a taste. Not ready yet. I'm still waiting.
Oh, there goes the power pylon.
Need more time.
Uh-huh.
I'm still waiting.
This was close. Back to back close, but I didn't have enough
Need
time
more
lead
time.
with the conduit. These were close calls,
Not ready yet. Not ready
but
yet.
it was predictable. This riff was rather predictable. I predicted the conduit.
I'm still waiting.
There's like no chickens.
Need more time.
Maybe here. Overlap, nice.
Not ready yet.
The elite arrived. I don't have time for elites.
I'm still waiting.
Just gonna take the chickens and run.
Need more time.
Okay.
Not ready yet.
Ah,
I'm still waiting. Not ready yet.
okay. Next spot, please. Possibly
Need
here.
more time.
And then who's the Rift Guardian? I just want to know who the Rift Guardian is, actually.
Not ready
Since it's
yet.
chickens, I want to know who the Rift Guardian is.
Need more time.
I mean, I could have checked up front. Oh, Blighter? Nah.
I'm
No
still
thanks. Let me go next floor. Easier too. Blighter. Okay. Blighter is bad to play without power, for sure. I mean, I already used the power.